and gentlemen, this is the Voices for Veterans panel at the Roll the Vote. This is the third Roll the Vote that we've done, but it's the first one that we've done here at the Lansing Center, here in Lansing, Michigan, and I'm pretty happy to be here. I don't know very many places you get this sort of scenic view. The Riverwalk is absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't traversed it yet, I highly recommend it. We're going to have live music outside. There's a couple people selling food out in the hallway, so feel free to hit them up. You can order out, you can have things delivered, you can go pick up, you can come back here. It's that kind of environment. You really didn't want us to cater for you. Definitely, I'm not a good cook at all. This is the Voices for Veterans panel. Now what is this? Well, a few years ago, man, I was faced with a choice. I started realizing there's a lot of things going on in the world around me that I didn't like. Maybe I was getting older, maybe the hair was falling out, maybe brain cells were wrinkling in a different direction. I started realizing that there were things going on in my world that just didn't really set right with me as far as how veterans were treated after service. After completion of their contract enlistment, I got to witness at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina, the U.S. Veterans Affairs Hospital there, firsthand for years, 97 to 99, how our veterans were treated from all wars that were available at the time. World War II still at that time, Korea, Vietnam, absolutely. Wars that we don't talk about, Panama, oh, that never happened. And you know, after I transitioned, or while I was transitioning back to the civilian world, I realized that there was a lack of transition acceptance, a lack of programming. Now, this is just my perspective, and I'm just trying to tell you why I wanted to start doing this Voices for Veterans thing. And I just started realizing there was a lot of transition difficulties that weren't being addressed by the government, that weren't being addressed by the established situations. And I started reaching out to musicians in my area. I was a drummer, and we started doing concerts for veterans. And it just sort of made sense, right? I'm a veteran drummer. Hey, let's do a show to raise money for the homeless vets. And it just made a lot of sense. So like I started back then, when I got out of the Army, playing drums and doing fundraisers for veterans and veterans aware shows and things like that. Just to try to give everyone a voice. I think that's really what I was searching for, is how do I give veterans a voice? How do I connect after service and allow them a chance to come public with what they have experienced, right or wrong, their perspective. I think that they need a voice, honestly. And that's one thing I saw at a lot of these Veterans Affairs hospitals was silence. I saw silence, I saw guilt. They didn't really have anyone to share things with. You know, they do the VFW halls, the American Legion halls, but there's still a group of people out there that weren't being catered to. A lot of them smoked marijuana, for example. And they couldn't really talk about it in 1997 or 1980 or whatever. It's a hush-hush situation. So a lot of people weren't able to come out of the closet, so to say. So a lot of people were hooked on prescription pills. A lot of people had alcohol addiction. A lot of my friends didn't make it very long after transition back in the civilian world. So it was due to my experiences personally when I transitioned from active service back in the civilian world that I started the Voices for Veterans movement, basically. So it's been going on for a long time. I've done a lot of concerts over the years. And this panel here represents a lot of the homegrown veterans here. Does that mic work, man? Does that mic work? Someone want to step over that mic, give it a shot? Anybody? No, it don't work? We can pass this one around. I got no problem with that.
It's negative, sir.
Negative? Keep talking.
I'm pretty sure we're good.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll just pass this one around. You don't need to hear me talk all day. You're going to hear enough of me. So, you know, without going on too much, my name is Stephen Lull, and my daughter Courtney Highfield, her boyfriend Jeff, my girl Jessie, and a whole bunch of other people decided to help out make this Roll the Vote happen. Voices for Veterans panel starts it off. I'd like to pass the mic to Mike Steinway, and he'd tell you a little bit about what he's doing and what's happening. Thank you, Mike. How you guys doing?
Oh no, this thing moves. So anyway, what I do is I'm the chairperson for the Veterans Party of America. We are, 18 months old. We have chapters in all 50 states. Sorry. And we're here to bring the country back to what it should be. You know, get these lifetime politicians out of politics. let's go back to the Constitution and the way our founding fathers wanted this country set up. That's what we are here for. We have Facebook pages, we have national pages, we have websites. We're there. We're there for you. We're there for everybody, all Americans. It's really nice to be part of this organization. We are veterans by choice. We are Americans to be proud. It's really difficult to put into words what we do as a political party. We just ratified our Constitution last October. If you really want to make a difference, you vote.
That's
you
right.
vote, you vote, you vote. If you don't like the guy in office, vote him out. If you don't have to be a Democrat. You don't have to be a Republican. Hell, you don't even have to be a Veterans Party of America member. Just get out there and vote. Who cares who you vote for? Who cares what party they associate with? If that candidate has the knowledge, the passion that you share, vote for him. I've done that my entire life. I've never associated with one party or another until the Veterans Party of America. Their beliefs, their passions are the same as mine. I'm a veteran. I served from '89 to '96. I was in the Gulf War, Part 1. I was a Patriot operator system mechanic, so I wasn't on the front line. But I seen everything. You know, I saw how the VA is treating our vets. I have family members that work for the VA. I have the inside line. I know how it goes. And I know that there is so much more that can be done for not only our veterans, but our Americans. You know, I came here not knowing what to say. I came here not knowing what to expect. But you know what? Just sitting here and listening to just the little conversations I'm listening to, it's amazing that everybody here has the same ideals I do. You know, one common cause. Get the right people in office, get the country back to where it needs to be, and let it roll, man.
Let it roll, baby.
Roll the boat.
That's right.
Right? That's what we're here for, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, with that, thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me. Thank you for inviting me. This is great. I look forward to many more.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Reed. Mike.
How's everybody doing today? Cool. Everybody's awake? Awesome. Heavily caffeinated? I am. I woke up at 3:15 this morning. I didn't have much of a choice. So, yeah, Folgers Black Silk. That's awesome. So, yeah, my name is Mike Reed. I am a retired Army National Guardsman, former United States Marine. Served in the Marine Corps from 1987 to 1993. 4 years active, 1 year reserve. I'm a Desert Storm veteran with Combat Service Support Detachment 10, Direct Support Group 1, 1st Marine Expeditionary Force Task Force Ripper. We were the spearhead through Kuwait. In the National Guard, 2004 2005, I was sent to Operation Iraqi Freedom, based out of Balad Air Base, LSA Anaconda, in a transportation unit. So I was driving around in a big green Target. On every road in Iraq, we logged over 1 million miles in country. Like what Mike said, I've had a couple of small dealings with the VA, and I share his thoughts on that too. It's a bureaucracy. The reports you hear are true. Now, some VA clinics do very well, and they really do have staffs that really do care and really want to take care of veterans. And others that you see on the news like to fudge the books, and that's wrong. We have a country that sends us to war, but doesn't do what it takes to take care of those people they're sending for? Why do we have organizations like Wounded Warrior Project? Why do we have other organizations like the Special Operations Group? Why? Because the government isn't holding up their end of the bargain. They said, oh, you're going to go out and get shot for us, you're going to leave your family for a year or two, you're going to get blown up. When you get back, we're going to give you substandard treatment, we're going to push you under the rug and pretend you don't exist. Nah, that ain't right. So I'm bringing a little bit of that here. I've talked to a couple of people, I've talked to Steve on this a couple of times. I don't trust the VA. I have an innate distrust of my government. I swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Not just, whoever the government says they're the bad guy, go kill them. And sometimes, and I really do feel that our government is working against us, not for us. We should have, like Mike described before, a government of the people, for the people, and by the people, where our representatives are doing our bidding, not their own. So that's basically it.
Hi, my name is Daniela Farrow. I'm a veteran. I was in the Army and Army Reserves from 1983 to 1996. I have nothing good to say about the Veterans Administration, so I will just shut up about them because I don't get any benefits. And I think that's pretty funny when you could, back in the 70s, there was riots in Detroit that lasted 3 days, and whoever worked that riot is considered a veteran. But me, serving 14 years as a medical specialist, clerical specialist, a cook, and a journalist for Stars and Stripes, can get nothing. So I really have nothing good to say about the Veteran Administration, but I volunteer a lot for different organizations. One of the organizations I volunteer for is Helping Our Heroes. It is Manna Acres out in Mason, Michigan, and it's a chicken farm where the lady, Miss Leslie Melvin, takes in homeless veterans and other veterans who would like to learn how to raise chickens from baby all the way up and sell them at market. She also teaches how to grow your own food, to sustain your own food. So that's an amazing program that I help out with. But I just think everybody really needs to get out and vote. I see we don't have many people here. I see quite a few familiar faces in the crowd. And everybody just really needs to get out and vote. Learn what this whole system is about. Because once you look deeper into the situation, you will see, take your blinders off, you'll see what is truly going on. And if we don't fight to get our rights back, we won't make it. This country will go all the way down. So I say stand up for your rights. I believe help end marijuana prohibition. I also work on that committee. I'm trying to help out with that. So please check into Manna Farms. It's Helping Our Heroes in Michigan. Thank you, and I appreciate you listening to me.
Hi, how are y'all doing today? My name is Mark Michon. I'm an Air Force veteran. Served from 97 to 2004. During my enlistment, I served on the Honor Guard and I was a recruiter for the Air Force. So I got to see a lot of the personalities that were actually enlisting to go out there and defend our liberties. And I saw a lot of the consequences that came back. And it had quite a profound impact on me. It changed a lot of my thinking, just as I'm sure Steve can relate. LPAL became me. I didn't have the earth, couldn't be the earth. So I thank Steve for having this event. Thank you for everybody for being here and for all the participants. It's nice to see you. I'm here to talk about something a little different than the rest of you. As odd as it may seem, I'm still a huge advocate of people enlisting in the military, regardless of all the qualms we have about the Veterans Administration, about our individual qualms with the government. We're all here because we want change in the government. We all have things that we don't like about it, all right? And although you're in the military, and any sort of civil service really, is a part of the government, the best change is enacted from within. All right, I'm not talking about a coup. I'm not talking about any sort of, overthrowing our government. I'm talking about actually enacting that change from within. The morale, the entire mentality of our military is built by each individual. It's not built by the government. You all out there are precisely the sort of people I want behind the trigger of their guns, all right? When they come out, we see way too often these days our government utilizing their force against us. We see it, we hear about it, it's more out there now. I don't want a sheep behind that gun. I don't want someone that'll say the government said shoot, so I shoot. If you have me in your sights, or the person sitting next to you, I want that person that's gonna hesitate for a second and say, is this the right thing? So, although we have our qualms about the government, although we might have our qualms about the military, we all didn't have wonderful, probably, none of us probably had the most amazing experience in the military. We all probably did things we didn't necessarily want to do. But I believe that every one of us up here used their moral judgment in every action that they took individually. And it's that sort of morale that we need to be holding the guns of our government. I'm sure you would all agree on that. All right? So, although I've got my qualms about the VA as well. It's an ongoing issue. However, there's good that comes from it. We may not see something at the end of our enlistment. We may not see the things we want to see at the end of our enlistment. But it's not really about what comes after our enlistment. It's about your neighbors, your friends, your family, everybody that you care about. And not just defending that against a foreign nation, but any domestic threat as well. That domestic threat is most certainly inclusive of our government. And of course, I'm not advocating a coup. I thought about bringing up Edward Snowden, which I guess I just did. And Snowden is still one of those things that we all probably ponder. Did he do the right thing? Especially as a military veteran, did he do the right thing? He went in, he knew there was an issue with our government, he found proof of the issue, and for me the issue is that he went to a foreign government, okay? That he put it out there to a foreign government. That to me is an act of treason. However, it was his actions up to that point that each one of us, I believe, would carry into a service to their nation, not a service to their government person, but a service to the nation. Okay? So I thank you all for your time, and I appreciate you all coming here. Thank you.
You can pass them up. No, you got it, buddy. Hot potato. It's you. All right, if I could ask you a question real quick. I'd like to know, how does the Veterans Party of America try to give back to veterans or allow veterans to have a voice in your own way?
Because we're new, the 2016 elections are the first election that we actually get to participate and compete against the rival team, so to speak. As far as what we do for veterans is we give them a voice. We are, we take in everything you guys, the veterans tell us. And we are in the process of putting people on the ballot that believe in what we need to change. We believe that the veterans require, no, scratch that. They don't require it. They earn it. They earn the right to be seen by any doctor they want. They earn the right to be proud, to be a damn veteran. I'm proud. These guys are proud.
That's right.
Y'all are proud.
Right.
We're all proud we served. But unfortunately, we're not proud of the government that is current. So in order for us to be able to change and to be able to do everything that needs to be done, not only for the American people, but especially the veterans who are getting the short end of the stick at this point, and have for a long time, we need to get out there and we need to vote. We need to vote the right guys in. We need to get this rolling. You know, from a political standpoint, Veterans Party of America in Michigan require to be noticed, rectified, exonerated, whatever the hell it is, need to be noticed by the state of Michigan. In order to do that, we need to collect somewhere in the area of 35,000 signatures. So at some point in the very near future, that is going to be coming around. And if you see something like that, sign it. If you see anything on it that says Veterans Party of America, you know, the Facebook page for Michigan is Veterans Party of Michigan. You know, I just created a town hall page, so you can go on there and you can voice your opinion, ask your questions, get the real answers. What we need to do for our veterans is completely able to be done. All we need is to get the right people in the right places and get the lifetime politicians who have deep pockets running amongst everything else, put the VA on notice, take care of our guys and gals, or you're out. You want your job? Keep your job. Do the right damn thing.
There we go. That'll work out. We can pass it right to Mike. You can clap if you want to. Don't let me stop you. That's audience appreciation. That's awesome. Thank you guys. That's beautiful. Mike, hot potato. All right, we're going to try to speed this up a little bit because I'm behind and the building, you know, we have some things. It's always an ish. It's a Saturday morning, right, everybody? So we're rolling with it. Amen.
It's Saturday? Oh, man.
Wow.
Knew something was weird.
That's right, that's right. Oh, Mike, I'd like to talk a little bit about what you did in the Marine Corps. Could I have just 2 or 3 minutes sum it up? What you did in the Marine Corps?
I was a mechanic in the Marine Corps. I was an advanced automotive mechanic, 3522 MOS, which was rebuild of major components, was my primary job. Also got recruited into being a range coach. I was a pretty good shot, and still am. Ended up doing
the hallmark of any great Marine, right?
And when I went in the National Guard after my tour in the Marine Corps, I was immediately put in battalion PMI and weapons instructor for all light weapons. But primarily I was a mechanic. I turned wrenches, I busted my knuckles, I said really nasty things about automotive engineers constantly. And learned interesting ways of sleeping under a Humvee in the shop where I wouldn't get caught sleeping. Like holding onto a wrench, hanging it up over a drive shaft or an axle or something like that, snore away. And then somebody'd say a code word, I'd drop the wrench and yell, oh my frick, cuss a couple of times, like, oh, okay, Corporal Reed's working, cool. So, and they'd leave me alone and they'd wonder why it took so long to replace a wheel seal. So, just tell them
Manual says 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Mike's on week 3.
Yeah. And other than that, you know, like I'd volunteer to go places. I was a part of MAGPAF 190, went down and built schools down in Honduras, and got shot at by snipers and had like iguanas come up and try to live in my tent. And they were cool. We had a pet one until the commander found out and he said, get rid of it or you're gonna go live with them. So.
All right, here we go. The next one I got for you, 3 minutes or less. That was what you did then, right, brother?
That's what I did.
What are you doing now?
Right now, I'm working at a company called Sabersmith. I make battle-ready swords, war hammers, and edged weapons. Really cool job. My primary job is the scabbard maker and painter. Work with just the greatest group of guys you could ever imagine. They're very cool people. Some of them are here. One of them ain't a guy, and she's just walking by pretending she doesn't know me. Well, now she's acknowledging it. And then Mr. Von Hasso back here, who helped bring me into Sabersmith. Great friend, my brother. And yeah, that's how I spend my time. And plus, I'm a professional drummer, which is why I'm not going to be hanging too long today, because I got to show at Ypsilanti and have a drum kit to break down and back up.
This
By the
man's
way,
being very
I'm
modest.
looking for
He's
a
being
drum
modest.
tech
He's one of the
and
better drummers I've ever met in my life. I want you to know that. He's being very modest. He's one good. The dude's got his own cymbal line for crying out loud.
yeah,
Look at his name on it.
for soul tone cymbals and true tuner and a few other things too. But I'm really looking for a really cheap, as in free drum tech and roadie, because I'm getting old. And it's really hard on a 48-year-old body to haul around a drum set. So if you got a kid that needs some discipline and wants to work, and then I can just tie him to my truck outside so he doesn't walk into a bar. So it won't be inside the truck, so nobody will bust my windows. It'll just be tied to the back on the trailer hitch or something like that. He'll be fine. I'll give him a bowl of water. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I make swords. I play drums. I'm married. Got 2 grown kids. Nice piece of property up in DeWitt. 2 dogs, 2 cats, and my daughter's cats, which they just hide in the basement and take care of the mice. So.
I invited Mike here because Mike represents to me a success story. So many people post-service allow things that happen to them to really weigh them down. Like we like to do that in life, unfortunately. The things that we go through sometimes weigh us down. And getting to know Mike over the last few years and jamming with the brother on jam nights and hanging out with him, I got to experience a success story. So that's the reason I invited Mike here today. So thank you very much for showing up, brother.
Thank you, man.
Pass that mic over that way. Hello.
Hi,
How are ya?
fine, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. Beautiful day, right?
Gorgeous.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Daniela, right? It's your last name?
Farrell,
All right, we're going to do 2 minutes or less. What did you do in the military?
I was a medical specialist, a clerical specialist, a cook, and a journalist.
Wow.
I get bored really easy and like to do a lot of things at one time.
There we did it in
So,
10 seconds.
I try to do fast.
Fantastic. And so what are you doing nowadays? I see you're getting involved in some activism. I understand you are helping with Leslie out there at the farm. What are you doing with that? The veterans and
I
stuff.
try to help Miss Leslie Melvin with the Manna Acres Farm. I try to help her with like advertisement and marketing. Whenever she's going to do Blues Festival, we did the fish rodeo. We go out and sell the pies and stuff from the farm. And so we do that in order for her to earn money, so she helps find resources for homeless vets. She helps with all resources for homeless vets. If you can't get something done, you talk to Miss Leslie and trust and believe she'll get it done for you.
There you go. That's networking, right?
That's right.
And we've learned that, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Got to stick together, man. That's right.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the farm. What's the farm? I heard you say something about a farm.
It's a poultry farm, and it is run by veterans and herself, and they raise chickens from baby up and sell them at market and sell them at different stores and places. And then she also teaches you how to grow. She teaches you how to grow and maintain, and even if you have no space, like you live in an apartment like I do, she teaches you how to grow in little boxes so you don't have to worry about it.
I probably shouldn't ask you what you're growing.
I'm growing cannabis.
Oh, out of the closet, just like that. Yeah, put your hands together. That's all right.
I
You can talk about that here. It's all right. It's all right.
I got my card. I've had it since the beginning, so I'm like,
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I did invite you here because I've been watching you for the last, I think, year I've known you, roughly. I know a lot of us keep in contact by Facebook. That's the thing, isn't it? Everybody, you can't get away with it or from it.
Right.
Facebook. So a lot of us keep in touch that way, and I've watched you transition pretty successfully from a very hard situation into a more successful situation. So congratulations.
Thank
Could I have a
you.
round of applause? Again, another success story. That was part of the outreach. That's part of why we picked the people to be here.
And thank you for you being my inspiration, because seriously, I was bad. I was in a bad situation when I first met him. I was a homeless vet who nobody would help. And by meeting Steve, he got me involved, he got me hooked up with the right people. I had a place within a month after I met Steve. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being my friend.
Oh, we're gonna roll the vote, damn it.
Yeah, right. We're gonna help end marijuana prohibition.
That's right. It's gonna happen in our time. I went up and hung out with a bunch of hippies up in the woods up north, man. They put me back in touch with what was going on.
Right.
Reminded me what the real deal was. It's through fellowship and communion and hanging out, get to know each other, and coming out of our cannabis closet, or to share success stories, whether it's overcoming a disability, financial, otherwise. Thank you very much. You want to pass the mic over there? What's his name? I've called this poor guy Mike, Matt, Marn, and I want to acknowledge his patience in that manner. Thank you very much. You shocked me with what you said you were going to talk about. You know, it's a little rough to hear, oh, you know, don't talk bad about your service, because a lot of things that you come to hear, a lot of veterans, unfortunately, will complain more so than they're going to give you advice or help you out. Whereas you've seen on this panel so far, these people have shared their success stories to let you know that it is possible to be successful after transition. You said something very interesting about conscious behind the trigger, basically. Could you just elaborate a little bit more on that concept, please?
It's self-explanatory, really.
But how do we do it, though? I mean, you look at the young people, unfortunately, they go after the young, don't they, when it comes to recruitment? You talked about being a recruiter, right?
Yeah, you know,
Well, why do you guys go after young people?
because they're young and healthy, hopefully.
Well, there we go, right?
You know,
healthy.
when I was a recruiter, I had that liberty to be picky about who I went after. I recruited for the Air Force, and you know, no foul on any of the other branches or anything, but we are someone that people seek out for military service. In the Air Force, we have a little bit better lifestyle and all that stuff. Treat a little bit better, perhaps. The promotions are a lot slower, though. You know, so there's some give and take. And when I was a recruiter, I saw out those people that I knew would question the orders that were given above them. Out of the people up here, even you yourself, Steve, you probably didn't obey every single order that was thrown out in front of you.
Hey, I'll give you that.
Okay.
I've been at the first sergeant's office a couple times.
Exactly.
My lower right-hand corner, honorable. That's all I
My
got to say.
worst was an LOC. And you know, my worst was an LOC, and I think it was because the other couple of times I disobeyed the orders. My commanders, my COs, they wish they had the balls to stand up and say, no, this isn't the moral thing to do. You know what I mean? But I did, and they didn't knock me too hard for it, all right? That's what I'm saying with, you know, you are you're that break point between the government and the devil. You are their enforcer when you're in the military. I would much rather have someone that's going to doubt the orders of those above them, okay, and give them actual consideration than to have a blind sheep. Every one of us here is here for a reason. We have our skepticisms. We have our doubts. We don't necessarily trust our government. However, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be out there to defend your nation. There is a separation between the two. When you tell me government, I don't really associate that with the people. All right? I associate nation with the people that live there.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being understanding about my time considerations. I apologize. And thank you all very much for being patient on our time constraints and what's going on in this wonderful Saturday afternoon down here in Lansing, Michigan. This place is beautiful. You guys really pulled some emotions out of me, and I hope that they provoked a little bit of thought maybe on your end as an audience, maybe take a little something away from this situation. I'd like another round of applause if that's possible for our voices.